Hello, Roomies.
And welcome back.
To Read the Room,
A culture club.
A podcast by
Alexys.
Kaylin.
and Larsen.
Today, our episode is on summer vacation in the media, aka books, movies, TV shows, even music and songs that capture the quintessential feeling of being on summer vacation.
Absolutely. I feel like there's nothing like an American summer vacation. Do other countries observe summer vacation in the same way that we observe summer vacation?
I don't think so, actually. Like, one of the first things that I stumbled across is that this is a little bit of a distinctly American phenomenon, purely because some other countries do have different school or seasonal schedules.
Mm-hmm.
So, for instance, Australia, their like long break is
Mhm.
technically in winter.
Mm-hmm.
I actually found a Reddit thread where one Australian asked, it seems in movies and pop culture that Americans take the whole summer off, or at least revere this season above all others. What's American life actually like in summer? Does everyone just stop and go on vacation for weeks on end?
But yes and no. That's funny. I feel like I've never really thought about how it's such a uniquely American thing until this episode, but
Yeah.
it really is. And we're gonna get more into the history in a little bit, but some of like one of my favorite ones we have listed, Dirty Dancing, like that very much is take the entire family away for the summer, not just like kids are off of school, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, it was a whole family affair. I mean, there's just something about summer, though. Like, one of the things that really stuck out to me about the Australians' question was the part about like revering the season
Yeah.
above all others.
Mhm.
And like, summer's not even my personal favorite season. Spring is my favorite season.
Mhm.
But I have to admit that summer just has this like pull, It's like the joke of like, oh, it's summer, I'm getting my personality back.
Yeah.
It's sunny outside, it's warm.
Mhm.
Yeah. And I think too, like as you get older, you are less likely to have that like stereotypical American summer,
Mhm.
but you have that nostalgia every single year.
Yes.
Yeah, it's
Well,
so
and
true.
just like in the most recent years, like 2020 on, basically, we've had this is XYZ summer, this is hot girl summer, this is white boy summer, or whatever Tom Hanks' son was trying to spread.
Tomato Italian Riviera girl summer.
Mhm.
Exactly. Brat summer. Like, there's just so much not glorification, but like idealization around summertime.
Yeah.
It's romanticized.
Yes, romanticization.
I always think of this quote. I don't know what it's from. It might be from Euphoria. I don't know. Let me find out what that actually is. It's from The Summer I Turned Pretty, which makes sense.
Yes.
Mm.
A lot more sense.
For me, it was almost like winter didn't count. Summer was what mattered. My whole life was measured in summers. Outside of the context of that book, I always had the thought of like, duh, doesn't every American teen, kid, whatever, have that thought? Like,
Mhm.
Yeah.
you don't think of your life necessarily. I mean, yeah, you think of like the things that happened in school or whatever, but everyone is looking forward to the summer. Like,
Yeah.
every child, like, thinks of your life, through.
Through the summer.
Yeah.
That's where it starts. That's where it ends.
Well,
Yeah.
you wait for it, you
Yeah.
wait for the whole school year. You're waiting for
Mhm.
summer to come around and to see what kind of person you will be in summer
Mhm.
and who you'll be thereafter. And when summer
Yeah.
hits, you're trying to savor it and hold
Mhm.
on to it.
Yeah. I just always thought of that. I was like, what? Do you think other people are like, oh, winter? Winter is really what I'm counting. It's like, what? I don't know. I was like, yeah, duh. Everybody, like
Yeah.
every kid person who grows up in America feels the same way.
Oh,
Yeah.
for sure.
Even, like you said, even if summer's not your favorite season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and as somebody who has a summer birthday, it was like hard for me as a kid to conceptualize having a birthday outside of the summer months because summer feels like birthday time. Like
Yeah.
it already has all the excitement, all the fun, all of those like fun things that you're doing.
Mhm.
And like it just feels
You-
like a birthday.
You can have your birthday party on your birthday
Yeah.
any year.
Yes,
Yeah. It
yes.
doesn't matter what day it is.
Yeah.
It's still your birthday on a holiday.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, I have to admit that one of the like parts of growing up that really honestly sucked was as I came into my political sentience
Mhm.
and realized how many problems there are with American history and with the landscape of America today.
Mhm.
I felt like I couldn't celebrate the 4th of July
Yeah.
as wholeheartedly anymore, which really sucks because a summer holiday, like
Yeah.
it's less about the like America of it all, and it's more about the aesthetic of summer and that summer
Mhm.
vacation and having this peak of the year roll
Yeah.
around, the watermelon slices, the
Yeah.
time on a lake or a creek or a river or an ocean, some
Yeah.
body of
Mhm.
And like
water.
the hanging out all day to wait for fireworks. Like
Yeah.
just there's so
We didn't
many
have
things
that.
around what because you have too much light.
Yeah.
But like if you remove the America out of it, it
Yeah.
still is like that is just what summer feels like in America. Like,
Exactly.
Yeah.
yeah.
It-
Which, while we're recording this, it's currently
We're on
World.
the precipice.
Well, no, I was gonna say it's World Cup time.
Yeah.
Right.
So us like earlier talking about how like it's such an American thing. It's
Mhm.
kind of exciting to see people from all over the world like coming here and kind of experiencing in a way a
Yeah.
little bit of
Yes.
summer.
Well, I saw a TikTok of a bunch of Scottish fans in a pub or somewhere
In Boston.
I'm sure Boston where they're
Playing.
playing, yeah. But they were singing "Country Roads Take Me Home," and I was like, wow, they're putting the America back in America for us. Like they are embodying what we should be
Yeah.
embodying. We've lost our touch.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw a similar TikTok that was like Americans right now, and it was like sad, like a sad man with like a smoking a cigarette, like looking dejected, and then it was like Europeans right now, and they were like starry eyed outside of a Waffle House, and they were like going into like a sportsman's warehouse and trying on
Yes.
cowboy hats and pointing at the guns, and like.
Yeah.
But I think that, yeah, the fact that it's World Cup time right now and that there's all of these visitors coming in
Mhm.
and it's coinciding with the fever pitch that is the excitement that everyone
Yes.
feels for summer.
Yeah.
I don't know. Summer is just a special, special time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even some of the language people are using, like, can we invite our cousins back next year?
Yeah, like,
that kind of
I
stuff
love a
feels
global
so
sleepover.
yes, it's so summer. Like the spontaneous sleepover, the spontaneous like
Yeah.
friend interaction. Like the World Cup's bringing summer back.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. Maybe the answer was always to take it global.
Yeah.
Does anyone have any like I know we mentioned Dirty Dancing already, but was there any
Mhm.
other favorite summer media that we want to use as
Yeah.
examples before we hop into the history?
Yeah, one of them that I was trying to think of because I feel like so much of what I consumed growing up wasn't necessarily explicitly summer. I will
Mhm.
say one for sure, Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants. That's like core.
Mm.
But also The Sandlot.
Yes.
That
I
was
was thinking about
big.
that when we were talking about the 4th of July because that's a
Mhm.
huge part and I think the first Sandlot, but it's like leading up like the whole day, it's building up and there's the big fireworks scene and yeah.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, the song Spirit in the Sky.
Oh,
When I die. That song to me
Bravo.
feels so summer.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know what feels like a summer vacation movie that I don't think really has anything to do with summer vacation?
Norman Greenbaum.
Is that
Spirit
the
in-
name of the song?
No.
Oh, Spirit in the Sky. Okay, I was like, there's no way that's the name of the song.
No.
Forrest Gump feels like a summer vacation movie. And I don't know if it's just the soundtrack, because the soundtrack is like very like I don't know, I feel like a lot of like classic, kind of more upbeat summer songs.
Mhm.
But that one just feels a little summery to me.
I understand that. I feel like I get that.
Yeah.
I get that, yeah.
Yeah. And he might be sitting on a park bench during summer vacation. Who knows? I don't know if we
Yeah.
know when he's sitting on the park bench.
I think that maybe one of the things we might discover throughout this episode is that summer is a feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Summer is a
As
concept.
exactly.
Yes.
Like I feel like there are some like for example, the book God of the Woods.
Mm-hmm.
To me, that doesn't feel
No.
like a summer book. It takes place in summer at a summer camp.
Mm.
And I'm sure a lot of people would say it is a summer book, but that to me does not have the vibes
No.
of summer.
It
That is
feels
not
like
a summer book.
fall, maybe even winter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just because something takes place in summer doesn't automatically mean this is a summer book, movie,
Yeah.
song, whatever. And vice versa. Like
Right.
something could be taking place throughout the whole year,
Mhm.
but it gives you that vibe of summer.
Yeah. Essence of.
Absolutely. Well, let me get into some of the history of summer vacation media, which has honestly like academic, social, and economic roots.
Mhm.
Ultimately, we can't get summer vacation books and movies and songs until we have summer vacation itself.
Mm-hmm.
And there is a little bit of like a debate or misconception about the origins of summer vacation.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, we know that summer vacation is tied to the school year,
Yeah.
right? The modern school year of children and also college students, that academic calendar.
Mm-hmm.
For a long, long time, and this is definitely like my preconceived notion as well, people just assumed that that school calendar where you have this long summer break
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
came out of farm calendars.
Yeah.
Like
Like
time.
that's when you're harvesting. That's what, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Like there's an agrarian root
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
to the long summer break.
Which kind of makes sense, but also kind of doesn't.
Yeah.
Because a lot of harvest does not take place in summer.
Yeah, well, a lot of the prep work doesn't take place in summer
Mhm.
either. Like I
Right.
know,
Mhm.
now I don't remember what time of year, but it's not during summer vacation when the almond farmers and the olive farmers are super busy in our area.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you guys are spot on. Like the average American kind of has this cursory understanding, but once you actually start to think about farming
Yeah.
with any depth, you realize that it doesn't make total sense to just
Mhm.
have this one long
Yeah.
break.
If we based all of everybody's school year off of salmon fishing in Alaska, perfect.
That would work really well for
Yeah.
your fam. But yeah, there's this long-standing agrarian image of youth being called back from their
Mhm.
studies during the summer months to help their families farm one big giant harvest.
Mhm.
And this is got some truth, but it's also like got a lot of falsehood to it.
Yeah.
Kenneth Gold, a historian at the College of Staten Island, said what school on the agrarian calendar actually looked like was a short winter term and a short summer term.
Mhm.
And
That
if you
makes a lot more sense.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, he followed it by saying, and if you think about farming needs, that's what actually makes sense.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And there was also like urban schooling too that was happening that
Mhm.
looked totally different
Mhm.
than these short winter terms, short summer terms in agrarian communities.
Mhm.
In urban environments at the same time in the 19th century, schools would allow breaks, but were also open almost year round with not all days of attendance mandatory,
Yeah.
Mhm.
which from a teaching perspective sounds like a fucking
Horrible.
nightmare,
Yeah.
right? You're
Yeah.
like open like 250 days of the school year and kids can just decide
Yeah.
which of those they show up to.
Yeah. No, that seems really difficult as a teacher because, like, yeah, your lesson plan is out the window.
Yeah.
And then obviously some of the things that kids were learning back then different than now.
Yeah.
You know, testing different,
Yes.
you know, especially probably when like you're not necessarily prepping these kids to go to university.
Yeah.
Some of these kids are women, girls, if they were allowed to attend. You're prepping them for marriage.
Yeah.
So
For homemaking, like
I
yeah.
do think that probably the whole teaching aspect was different,
Yeah, for sure.
but putting up today's lens on it, that sounds like a nightmare.
Yeah. I mean, it's just so interesting. I always think about in my teacher brain, my education brain, how young our public school system like actually is.
Mhm.
Like
Mhm.
for a long time, just because you had schools doesn't mean that schooling was mandatory,
No.
expected,
Mhm.
guaranteed, none of that, right?
Or even like something that was, well, I guess what you said, expected. Like it
Yeah.
wasn't something that like everybody was going to do, even if it is available and free,
Exactly.
and like there's a bus to get there, and
Mhm.
yeah.
The standardized every child is mandated to
Mhm.
go to school lens of things is only like 100 years old.
Yeah.
So before that, you have like in 1842 in New
Mhm.
York City, schools were actually open 248 days a year, which is dramatically more than the 180 days that were open in modern day.
Yeah.
And in Detroit in 1843, only 30% of enrolled students actually attended school year round. So
Mhm.
just a really different landscape.
Mhm.
But then, the late 19th century.
Mhm.
Everyone, remember the late 19th century. This is the late 1800s if you're like me and your brain struggles converting those numbers. In the late 1800s, a lot is happening, and there
Mhm.
was a big push to standardize the school calendar
Mhm.
with one long centralized break.
Yeah.
There was, of course, like an education reformer who was low key leading that charge. His name was Horace Mann. He seems like he might have been a little bit of a weirdo. He believed that medically you would wear kids out if you had them in school too long,
Mm.
and that would create like deficiency. So
Mhm.
I mean, I don't think he's necessarily incorrect, but I don't know what the rest of his
I just
beliefs
felt
are.
nervous. Like, I just felt nervous naming
Medically,
him.
yeah, medical deficiencies.
Yeah, I don't think that that's correct, but like you also don't want like there's a balance, I guess is what I'm saying.
Yeah. I just wanted to throw it out there. I didn't research Horace Mann very much. It's really possible that he's a bad guy on some level.
Yeah.
But him and a lot of
The
other
odds are good.
Yeah.
right, exactly.
Yeah,
And he's a
time and
white
place,
man in the
yeah.
1800s.
Who's obsessed with kids.
Yeah, yeah. Him and other education reformers were like, look, kids need to have time off and teachers need to have time to train.
Mhm.
And summer did ultimately become the winning choice for that
Mhm.
standardized schedule, but farming was just like one of several factors why
Mhm.
summer became the natural choice.
Yeah, it's obviously because summer is inherently a fun time of year, and you knew the kids need to have a break then.
Yeah, it's
Mhm.
warm people to be out. And no one wants to be looking out their classroom window at the most beautiful day of the
Yeah.
year,
Mhm.
stuck inside.
Though I will say, if we had chose like winter,
Mhm.
you wouldn't I mean, depends on where you're from.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't have like snow days or like having to take the bus in super, super icy conditions,
Yeah.
all that kind
Yeah.
of stuff. Like, so I feel like there probably were merits to each season
Mhm.
potentially being
Yeah.
off.
Yeah.
Honest-
If we chose winter vacation, we would still be having this podcast just about winter vacation.
Yeah, we'd be romanticizing other things.
Yeah.
And honestly, maybe winter would have been a better choice for academic achievement because if it's not beautiful and warm and pleasant outside, people would be forced to stay at home. Kids would be at home and they would be, maybe reading more,
Yeah.
maybe studying more because the factor that was not considered for
Mhm.
choosing summer
Mhm.
was academic achievement.
Yeah.
That was not a factor in the initial decision in the late 1800s. We were not testing and looking at data basically at all. And now that we do that, data has shown over and over and over again in the past 4 decades that summer break is actually really detrimental to learning outcomes.
Yeah.
There's a summer slide. Usually kids lose a chunk of their knowledge that they gained over the previous year
Mhm.
Interesting.
every summer, which is honestly why we've had a reintroduction of year-round schools.
Yeah.
Just-
I attended I think what they call a track school when I was in second and third grade, I think, in Fairfield. And it was like 3 months on, 3 months on, 1 month off. And there were 4 different tracks. And so like there were 4 different classes in each grade.
Yeah.
And there were only 3 classrooms for each grade because they would rotate classrooms too. So it was like a monetary benefit to the school, but also like apparently academic benefit. But have you guys ever? I mean, Larsen hasn't. She attended the same school district her entire life, but I don't even know any schools around here that necessarily do that.
There are definitely. I think that there's probably. I think that there's probably at least one-ish year-round school in any 100-mile radius of like a large metropolitan area
Yeah.
at this point in time. They have become like more and more popular over the last 30-ish years.
Are those mostly public? Because like the one I went to was just like a regular old public school. Like there was nothing fancy about it.
Yeah, I was gonna
Some
say, how
are.
does that work? Like with all the hullabaloo and
Yeah.
like public schools are so dictated by certain things. How does that work to be like we're year round, we're doing this? Like how does that actually?
Yeah, I mean, one way is like to be if you're a public charter,
Yeah,
then
yeah.
you can have it written into your charter.
Yeah.
That's how your schedule will be. The most important factor for public funding is having kids in the classroom for a set number of days. I mean, the magic number of days is 180 days times 8 hours, right? That kids need to be in instruction. And so if you splice that up and you can show that in your year-round schedule you're still hitting those number of hours, you will still retain your funding.
Okay.
But the students' actual attendance for the amount of time is expected is the biggest decider of state funding for at least California public schools. I can't like speak to all 50 states.
Something
Yeah.
interesting that just popped into my head that they did in that school district was it was based like what track you were on was based off of where in the district you lived. So
Interesting.
like your neighborhood kids around you were all on the same
That
track.
makes sense.
So and
Oh,
siblings too. Like
Yeah.
so that was really I think like socially helpful, especially like
Yeah.
we carpooled with a bunch of kids in
And you're
those
on break at
days.
the same
I was-
time.
Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, I think socially for sure, but also just like for parents.
Yeah.
Like, because I was
Now
just,
you're taking April off as a mom because your kids have April off
yeah, I was
and
just gonna say, like, yeah,
Yeah.
how, like, yeah, for a lot of people who work year round, having to deal with your kids for like a
Mhm.
chunk of 2 to 3 months, that seems kind of crazy.
Yeah.
But to do that 1 month every 4 months,
Every quarter.
yeah, like,
Yeah.
how do you figure that out?
Yeah.
Like, that seems even more difficult.
Yeah. Well, and if it's like, because I don't remember how like I'm pretty sure the middle school was also doing it like in the district, but I don't know if the high school was like. So I
Mhm.
don't remember that.
Yeah.
But like I could see if like your whole town is doing that, then daycare
Yeah.
also changes to be around that too, right?
Right.
And that actually might be more sustainable for those companies too, because you have like a more like you have a more regular flow. It is going to be different kids, but it's not like summer's the big month and then you're dead the rest of the year, like for those kind of activities.
Yeah.
Just different cultural stuff. I
I
don't know.
guess like what it shows is that there is so many repercussions to
Mhm.
what schedule like
Mhm.
students are on. Like
Mhm.
it's
Oh,
no
absolutely.
wonder that summer has become such a prominent figure in the American zeitgeist if we
Mhm.
do have 100 years of that like standardized schedule. And even now it is still by far the predominant school schedule is
Yeah.
to have summer.
Yeah.
It was
Well, and that's when all the national parks are busy, right? Like
yeah, it's the busy season
yeah.
for so much, and like there's so many. I mean, yeah, the economic side of it is huge. Like there's so many businesses where summer is just
Yeah.
that's the busy season. And it's really interesting the like debate between year-round schools and summer break schools. I have attendance questions that I do every day with my own high school students, and I just asked them maybe like 2-ish weeks ago as they were gearing up to start their summer vacations. My attendance question was, would you rather keep the school schedule that you have right now with summer break, knowing that you retain less information because here is this data that you retain less information,
Mhm.
or would you rather go on a year-round model? And I actually used the exact one that you went to, Kaylin. I said where you have 3 months on, 1 month
Yeah.
off, because that's one of the most popular like year-round schedules
Yeah.
by far. 98.8% of the students that I asked, probably like 150 students across 2 days of asking this question, said, I want summer break.
Yeah. It's
Mhm.
the vibes, man.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's just every single time that a student asked me, I said, I want summer break.
Yeah.
Like we'll relearn things in fall, but like you need this long break because there's something about the long break that allows you to just get into a different mode of
Mhm.
being.
Mhm.
But other than the school calendar, which obviously is a factor, there's some other big historical factors that contribute to the wealth of summer vacation media that we
Yeah.
have. One of those big factors is the travel economy and the kind of travel habits of
Mhm.
19th and 20th century Americans.
Mhm.
Obviously, yearly travel started as mostly being a rich people thing.
As most things do.
As most things do. So, especially during the Gilded Age, which Gilded Age refers to kind of the 1870s to the 1890s, the rich began to ritualize summer traveling. They would do this by steamer or by train.
Mhm.
And as steamer boats and trains expanded their routes to meet the travel demands of the rich,
Mhm.
resort hotels, cabins, etc., started popping up and down the East Coast, especially, right? This kind
Yeah.
of starts as an East Coast phenomenon. Think of places like Newport, Martha's Vineyard, the
Adirondacks.
Adirondacks.
Yeah.
yeah, the Catskills, right?
Yeah.
Like these places that actually belong in the American summer mythos now.
Mhm.
Like
Mhm.
it starts in this Gilded Age with these rich people traveling up and down the coast during summer, and then there's a trickle down,
Yeah.
right? As the
Mhm.
decades go on and these travel patterns start to spread, now more upper middle and even middle class Americans
Yeah.
begin to follow suit.
Mhm.
Especially post-war with the or post World War II to be specific with the big economic boom, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And fast forwarding even a little, I didn't know this, but it became really common in the 1950s and 60s
Mhm.
for the average nuclear family to travel to some of those very same locations, like the
Mhm.
Catskills,
Mhm.
where the family might take a residence for a month,
Yep.
2 months, whatever they could afford, at
Mhm.
a resort, a cabin, or a condo. And while the mom and the kids would just stay,
Mm-hmm.
oftentimes the dad would work and then join on weekends.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Just like Dirty
That's what I was
Dancing.
saying. I didn't realize initially, oh,
Yeah.
yeah, that's actually the framing of Dirty
Yeah.
Dancing.
And it's like a big deal because that year the dad's staying the whole time.
Right. Right.
And then also in Marvelous Mrs. Maisel.
Oh, yes. Yes. They're also going
And
to the
they're more,
Catskills.
yeah, because also back in that time you have certain areas for certain people.
Yes.
So
Yeah, the Catskills were literally called the Borscht Belt because of all the Jewish families that would go to the Catskills for the summer.
yeah, and then you have places like Bruce's Beach, which is in California here,
Mhm.
Idlewild in Michigan,
Mm.
and you have Oak Bluffs, which is kind of near Martha's Vineyard,
Mhm.
where historically Black Americans could travel to do the same
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah. It's so interesting to think about, like, as this social pattern of summer travel emerges, the demand that creates in the economy,
Mm-hmm.
and then the way that new places open up to serve the communities that are not getting served.
Yeah.
That separation, but that also speaks to a societal want that's on like a mass level.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and it's just like, it's especially for leaving for such a long time, you really are escaping your day-to-day non-summer life for the summer, right? And that does feel like a a nice thing to be able to do. I don't know why people would not want to do that, right?
Absolutely. And like a side effect of summer vacation travel is the summer reading list.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Both assigned and elected. And what comes out of the summer reading list is the beach read,
Mm-hmm.
which I just didn't realize, like, oh my gosh, like
The direct connection.
the direct
Yeah.
connection. Like I felt like the meme Charlie Day with all the red strings being like, whoa, okay, so everything is changing during the late 19th century. Prior to 1850, socially, summer reading was discouraged because, especially for women, like, put the book down.
Why would you need to read?
Literally, yeah. People were generally encouraged to walk slow and think slow in the summer. It was like if you were a lady, it was the time of rest, respite.
Well, because if you walk too fast, your uterus would just fall out.
Right, right. And then how could you bear children for your husband?
Yeah.
But in the late 19th century, late 1800s, the American population tripled, and something called industrialization occurred.
A little thing called.
A little thing. And it produced more white collar jobs, which led to the ability to actually take vacation time. And from then on, as you get this social trend of summer travel, aligning with children's school schedule being standardized, aligning with the rapid industrialization of America, the changing workforce,
Economic opportunity.
economic opportunities.
Yeah, and like your kids aren't in factories anymore, so like you gotta have some place for them to go in the summertime. Like, or the inverse, I guess, is what I was gonna say. But like during the school year, there's a place for them to go while you go to work, and mom can sit and do her meth while she cleans the house. And then during the summertime when the kids are back, you gotta take them somewhere, right? Like,
yeah, it's all lining up. The kids are out of the factories, they're in the schools, dads are working at their desks, everyone is taking vacation in the summer. And from then on, summer reading becomes more acceptable because it's this leisure activity. The tone totally
a leisure
shifts.
activity in a leisure time.
Yes.
Right, exactly. And the tone around it totally shifts. It becomes a distinctly feminine pastime, something that young ladies were doing on the beach or in a hammock while their brothers and their fathers and their cousins were playing football.
yeah,
Right?
or out on a boat or something. Like, yeah.
Exactly. And also, summer reading was something you could do while in the actual act of traveling to like pass the time. You're on the steamer ship.
Yeah.
You're in the rail car.
Yeah.
You're in the car.
Yeah.
You're on the plane. Like, it still exists today. And that actually helped with the introduction of mass market paperbacks in the 1930s. It wasn't the reason why, but paperbacks were so much easier to travel with.
Yeah. Well, like you're saying, all these things are just falling into place.
It's
like,
just dominoes,
Yeah.
right? It's just dominoes. it always comes back to industrialization and the printing
Yes.
press. We cannot all caps that
What would we do
enough.
without Gutenberg?
Literally. So the paperback, the mass market paperback, becomes this essential travel companion, with genres like mystery and romance becoming synonymous with that holiday downtime.
Which is crazy that like through now almost 100 years, those are still two the biggest
Yeah.
summer read genres.
Yeah, well, even like summer like mini series, like there's a lot of like that's kind of horror starts to pick up in the summertime and going in like into the fall season into Halloween, but you have a lot of like vacation or like what's it like restrictive setting like mysteries like murder mysteries where like one person dies, and like to this day like recently there's the Nicole Kidman wedding one on Netflix that I can't remember the name of right now.
Perfect Stranger. I don't know.
Maybe that might be what it is. And I think that one's
Perfect
set.
Couple? I don't know.
Yes, Perfect Couple, because it is about those two.
Yeah.
Anyway, but still, it's set, I believe, in Australia during the summertime on vacation. Like, it's still happening.
Yeah. No, actually, when you really look at it, the Venn diagram is a circle. The mass market paperback is the beach read, is the mystery, is the romance, is the airport novel, is the
Yeah.
like it's all coinciding. And to hark back to our May released Bodice Rippers episode, by the 50s and 60s, the dominant paperback genre was romance and the dominant audience remained women, which honestly just sets the stage for the slew of summer love tropes to come in summer media.
The love of summer, the love in summer,
The
all
love
the
of
summer loves.
Well, you
Summer
could just
lovin'.
Happen so fast. Dude, I feel like that's organically gonna happen and many more times throughout the episode.
an iconic
That was almost like
song.
a sleeper cell took over and it was like, I have to finish that.
The summer vacation sleeper cell programming goes so deep.
If you give a moose a muffin. But the last kind of like historical piece that I just wanted to mention, because it does show up as a hallmark in summer media so much, and actually I think is the result of the intersection of all of the things that we've already mentioned, is the summer camp, right? Is the phenomenon of going to summer camp. It serves an academic purpose because it provides an enrichment program. It serves an economic purpose because it gives middle-class parents somewhere to send their children while they remained working. It serves a social purpose, giving upper class parents somewhere to send their children so that the parents themselves could go do their leisure.
Yeah.
It serves a social purpose for children because they get to be with children that are their own age.
And a diverse, likely a different group or a
Right.
mixed group than like what they're actually going to school with during the school year as well.
Yeah, exactly. It serves that travel purpose too, kids getting to go and experience oftentimes somewhere out in the wilderness, so it's hitting on all of the markers to have summer camp.
Did you guys go to like
No.
Larsen's like, I was on a boat. I don't know. That was your summer camp, was the salmon boat. Like I never went to like a summer camp. Like
No.
I went to softball camp sometimes in the summer just because that's when that was, because that's when kids are free. And like we would go camping and I would have some of these experiences with like the other kids in the campground or cousins or whatever. But I never went to like a
No.
summer camp. Both my little siblings did like horse camp, which I feel like was really fun for them. But
Yeah. No, we never got to do that. And that was always something that, like, in some ways, growing up in Alaska does feel like that quote from Australia. Because that's like, yeah, I get the vibe because I am from America and all of my media is like this.
yeah.
But we didn't experience the same things. And, like,
Yeah.
summer camp wasn't a thing. Like, yeah, maybe it was a sports camp
Yeah.
for a week or two or something. But I was always like, oh, it's the same thing as like when I see an outdoor high school. I'm like, that's real?
Yeah, I was gonna say it's those things that you see in movies that like
Yeah.
don't actually happen or happen that much, like the punch bowl, right?
Yeah.
But also, is it more of an East Coast thing to send your kids to like months long summer camp?
Yeah.
I think that's still probably more of like a cultural thing on the East Coast than it is out here.
I did get to go to summer camp, something that I'm like grateful for now, but it was my mom's doing, and summer was already kind of special for me because my parents' custody was my parents lived really far apart from each other, and their custody was split so that during the school year I'd spend time with my dad,
Mhm.
and then I would go see my mom on summer break because I had to travel to see
Yeah.
her. She lived in
Mhm.
Idaho. And so one summer I went to see her for summer break. I always traveled to Idaho. That was pretty norm. But one summer I arrived and she was like, "Hey, I got a surprise for you." I'm in like the peak of middle school.
Yeah.
She's set the scene. And her surprise was that she was sending me to summer camp.
Yeah.
She was stoked about it because it was she worked for the USDA and it was an ecology focused summer camp.
Yeah.
Which in retrospect as an adult I'm like, that's so fucking cool.
Yeah.
As a kid I was like, what the fuck?
Mhm.
I just got here and you're gonna send me
To do science?
you're gonna send me to science camp in the fucking Idaho woods with a bunch of kids that I don't know. Like I'm already feel like an outsider here.
Yeah.
And I was like, I just got here and you're sending me away. And she
Mhm.
was like, I feel actually sorry, Mom, if you're listening, but I feel really bad now because she was like, well, my work is paying for it. It's like a really cool opportunity.
Mhm.
Like, and then I got there and I was shut down and so scared and so socially nervous. And I remember on the first day, people being like, where do you live? And I was like, California. And there was one girl who was literally like, do you know any movie stars?
They hadn't got the vitriolic Idaho Californian hate at that age.
Right. But it was so classic summer camp. All of the counselors were elder teens who had gone to the camp
Yeah.
themselves when they were
Mhm.
younger. I remember on the first day that they did this thing where they had to demonstrate if you broke certain rules, your
Mhm.
punishment was that you would have to come in front of the whole camp and you would have to spell your name with your butt.
I feel like that would not happen these days, but that feels very our childhood
And they
coded.
made the camp counselors demonstrate for us.
Mhm.
And I have such a distinct memory of my horror and my
Yeah.
intrigue.
Mhm.
After 3 days, I was like in love.
Yeah.
I was like, this is so fun.
Yeah.
We were going on hikes and we were looking at plants and learning. And so I now am like, oh, I get it.
Mhm.
I get the romanticization around summer camp. I would have probably gone every year if I could.
Mhm.
Yeah. That looked fun.
What looked from those movies I've seen. Now that I'm thinking about it, I'm getting a little bit more bitter because I do remember that my siblings did also go to Kiwanis camp and then were camp counselors at Kiwanis camp, which Kiwanis is just like a kind of
Cool.
Rotary Club thing, is my understanding. So it's like an adult club that's putting on these things for children.
Mhm.
But yeah, didn't really get that opportunity. So
But speaking of those stories that romanticized this grandscape of summer for us,
mhm.
let's get into some examples.
Mhm.
Let's get
Yeah.
into some
Some bookie poos.
some
Mhm.
books, some movies, all of the above.
Yeah.
I saw the book title Dandelion Wine here by Ray Bradbury, and it immediately sent me to a place of strawberry wine, 17, which is also a quintessential summer song. You know
How
about
is
that
our-
one, Larsen?
How is our
Nope.
harmony,
That's
Larsen?
very, very like 90s country.
Sorry, I don't know that one.
was it, but how was our harmony?
Oh yeah, really, really good, really good. I I feel like it's funny to me that that's where your mind went. Well, it's not funny because like that makes sense for you. But I think there's literally songs called like Dandelion Wine.
Probably.
So it's yeah. Anyway.
As a silly, I mostly threw this on the list to be silly, but I did want to, bring up my guy Willie Shakes.
Mhm.
Oh my god! I was like, isn't that Shakespeare? I'm so confused. I didn't even. My brain did not even put that together. Okay, I was like, there must be another novel that's.
I have a Midsummer Night's Dream
I
by
feel so stupid.
William Shakespeare at the top of our list, but I wrote it Willie Shakes. And I love that I got Kaylin.
Yeah, you really threw me for a loop on that one, dog. All right.
I don't think that truly fits, except
Yeah.
that, it is centered on the youth.
Yes.
And we'll see that
Mhm.
remains a
and
theme.
also like a mysticism around that time of year.
The magic of that
Yeah.
time of year.
Yeah. It does feel different than a lot of the other
Yeah.
media that we consume though.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was written a while ago.
Yeah,
For sure.
and I think we could probably say the same thing about Adventures of Tom Sawyer. Like that does feel, and I haven't read that in years.
But maybe what's different about that one is it does feel more American.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, I put the actual start of the list of books I put as The Adventures of Tom Sawyer
Mhm.
because it's American. It's by Mark Twain, by the way, 1876. It's written right at that era
Yeah.
Mhm.
where we talked about the intersection of summer vacation in the
Yeah.
cultural consciousness.
Everything's starting there.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that is actually late 19th century. And it doesn't strike all the chords of that summer media feeling that I think that we're getting at.
Mm-hmm.
But it is about a young boy, adventure. It does technically take place during summer. It's
Mhm.
about the American wilds.
Mm-hmm.
So it's starting to play the tune
Yeah.
that we'll hear later on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Next, we have Summer 1917 by Edith Wharton, which I love the description we have here because I feel like it could be applied to so many summer movies, which
Oh,
is
yeah.
a naive girl from a humble background meets an ambitious city boy and a torrid romance ensues.
Yeah, if that's in 1917, we
Yeah.
could take that description and apply it for the next 100 years.
Yes. Oh, all right. Next, we have Dandelion Wine, 1957 by Ray Bradbury, which I don't think I've ever heard of this book.
I guess it's like it's semi-autobiographical.
Oh.
The setting that it takes place in is like where Bradbury grew up.
Mm-hmm.
But he also fictionalizes elements.
Mhm. I can picture the cover, but I haven't read it.
Yeah, I don't even know if I can. Like I said, I don't think I've ever been
Y-
exposed.
Yeah. I haven't read much Ray Bradbury.
Yeah, I did like Fahrenheit 451 though.
Yeah.
That was a banger in our set curriculum.
No, Bradbury's a fabulous author.
Oh yeah.
One of the things that kind of like surprised me as I was looking at different books that could be possibly counted as summer
Mhm.
vacation media
Mhm.
is how many like authors that I didn't expect
Yeah.
ended up like on that list where I was like, oh, I didn't know that they wrote a summer book.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But it's just so big.
Well,
and
we're
Yeah.
the next one, Judy Blume. That feels right. Summer Sisters, 1998. That feels like for her that makes sense.
Mhm.
The next one is like what you're saying, Barbara Kingsolver. I'm like a, a summer vacation.
Yeah.
Like, which the book is Prodigal Summer from 2000. But she feels a little too.
Well, I think that's where you get into like a summer read actually does fit so many different genres.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't read Prodigal Summer by Barbara Kingsolver,
Mhm.
but to me that seems like it would be more similar to like Sue Monk Kid with The Secret Life of Bees. And like The Secret Life of Bees, there's so many like heavy topics,
Yeah.
but I would still categorize that as like somewhat of a summer read.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and it does hit a lot of like the themes we're going to talk about later.
You know, I would even classify Book of Longings as a summer read from Sue Monk. It feels like summer to me. I don't
know if you read it more recently.
It basically is a naive girl from a humble background meets an ambitious city boy.
Well, kind of. Kind of. You did read it more recently.
Yeah.
I don't know if that one would have popped in my head.
No. I'm kind of playing with that one, but like realistically, like you're saying, there's so many different genres, so many different
like,
feelings.
Yeah, we often think of like thriller, mystery, romance,
Mhm.
but realistically, you know, especially more recently, like with like lit fic and
Yeah.
contemporary fiction, like really taking off. I feel like there are just so many different ways to evoke the same feelings.
Mhm.
Certainly. One thing that like I think helps to create that summer feeling too is like the nostalgia and the retrospective. For instance, I thought it was really interesting that both Dandelion Wine and Summer Sisters are retrospective. Dandelion Wine is written in 57
Mhm.
but is set in the summer of 1928.
Yeah.
While Summer Sisters is written in 1998 but set in the summer of 1977. So it's these older authors who are then writing about a summer that they themselves
The
probably
Sandlot.
remember.
Yeah,
like the
yeah.
Sandlot.
Which I just want to remind our listeners, if we were following the Summer Sisters timeline, we would be writing about 2006.
Which, yeah.
And that just, whatever that's like put into perspective for me, I'm like, oh, you're so old now. We're so old.
Yeah, we are old. But at the same time, isn't that the summer that we are yearning for right now? You know, like
Yeah. See, the like 10-year period between 06 and 16, I feel like. Yeah.
like for me, when I think of summer, I think of like putting on a Pink CD into my
Mhm.
sister's purple boombox and dancing out on our deck.
Yeah.
You know, like
Yeah.
that was very much
Yeah.
2000s.
Yeah. It's oh my gosh. Summer does have this kind of magic around it. It is like nostalgia on meth because
Mhm.
even just you guys saying like summer of 2006, isn't that the summer that we want? Immediately my brain went to a big bowl of watermelon and me and my step siblings are eating it with our hands and my toes are stuck into clay mud on the
Mhm.
bank of some lake. Like just all of these really evocative, sensory rich images.
Mhm.
I don't think that I have such distinct memories about other seasons in the way that I do with summer.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like I can really see it and feel it and taste
Feel
it.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Feel
Yeah.
it.
Actually, now that I'm like trying to put a timeline of 2006 together in my brain, I do think that was the summer we spent like a week on Shasta Lake during the 4th of July, watched fireworks from a boat on the lake, lost many a flip flop in the clay of the lake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so it's so interesting, and we might talk more about the tropes and the things that show up in summer vacation media later, or we will. But one of the things that is really big that we can see, even just from a few examples, is place and
Yeah.
is setting.
Mhm.
And as we're all three of us naturally recalling our own summer memories, that idea of place and setting like is so clear. Like Larsen, if you don't know, if you haven't listened very much, grew up in Alaska, right? And that's clearly like a piece of what defined your summers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kaylin and I both grew up in Northern California, very close to a couple different lakes and very close to the Sacramento River. So we have distinct memories of those
Yeah.
places.
Mhm.
And even going back to the history, if there was writers on the East Coast, they were probably talking about those kind of Catskill places
Mhm.
that take up a large amount of the imagery
Or the Jersey
of
Shore.
summer. Or the
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah.
And speaking of 2006, if we just flash forward 1 year to
Yes.
2007, we get another a very at this point very iconic summer vacation piece, Call Me by Your Name
Mhm.
Yes.
by Andre Osman. I'm so sorry, Andre, if I said your last name wrong. But that book is written in 2007. And then obviously the notoriety of this story blew up even more in 2017 when there was a movie adaptation starring Timothy Chalamet that was put out. But this is, another summer love, summer coming of age, summer heartbreak story. It's a really atmospheric novel. It's hitting all of those same sensory pieces we just talked about.
Yeah.
Yeah. And another one I think we've already mentioned, The Summer I Turned Pretty, 2009, which, spending the summers in a specific location with their mom, that's like that constant of going back to the same place, kind of what we're talking about with like our personal.
Yeah, if you don't know The Summer I Turned Pretty by Jenny Han, it's a trilogy and it follows like this main character, Belly, and she goes back to Cousins Beach. I don't know if Cousins Beach is a real place or not, but it's meant to be like a Martha's Vineyard type
Yeah.
beat, right? Where it's like a place where she goes back every year, every summer. That's the one that quote that Larsen said was from of like her she's measuring her life in summers. The titles of the trilogy books also, I didn't put them all, but they're really funny. I just think that these are funny because if we're speaking about like when Kaylin was like the summer, summer love, summer in blank, summer tryst, summer. That's literally what these book titles are. The Summer I Turned Pretty. It's not summer without you. We'll always have summer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, obviously that got made into a TV show. One that came out this year is also based off a book that came out, earlier. Every Summer After by Carly Fortune. Haven't read it, but I've heard that very much evokes like this Canadian summer feeling. But yeah, every summer after. And then I think there's like one golden summer.
Yeah, it's kind of like back to our bodice rippers episode, the Devil in series. Like it's the very like they're very formulaically named titles.
We love our genre fiction.
Yes.
Love it. And then one more kind of modern one again is We Were Liars, which is a book by E. Lockhart from 2014, but it's come into the cultural consciousness with more fervor in this past year because there was a TV show adaptation made in 2025. And this is more psychological thriller.
Yeah. I am I'm so confused about the TV show because it keeps getting pushed to me and it's advertised in and like when you're looking up different genres, it
Mhm.
pops up as romance.
Mm-hmm.
But every time I see visuals of it, I'm like, that's weird. That doesn't look however they're shooting this, advertising
Doesn't
it. This doesn't
feel.
feel like romance.
Yeah.
And then I go read the description of the show, and it's like after an accident, she has amnesia. She comes back to the place where she's summered, and nobody wants to talk about it. And then stuff happens, and I'm like, wait, what? How is this a romance?
Like, this feels different. You know, a psychological thriller romance wouldn't be the first one, won't be the last.
But it does feel summery.
Yes.
And then we have lots of movies, obviously,
Yeah.
that are
And
some
I
of
just
which are
want to
based on
mention,
books.
obviously, our lists are not all encompassing.
Oh,
And if
yeah.
they were, this would be a really boring podcast.
Yeah, we're barely scratching
Yeah.
the surface.
We're
But
really scratching the itch. Like,
honestly, I have an itch now. I want to go back and I want to watch some summer movies.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys have seen this. I think I forced Kaylin to watch this.
I'm pretty sure you did.
But there's kind of a series of movies, but one of them is Beach Blanket Bingo,
Mhm.
1965. That one I feel like is such a summer, like a California summer movie
Mhm.
from
Way
way
old.
back, way back. I'm not going to say that this like starts off the summer movie kind of run
Mhm.
Yeah.
in the US, but
It's definitely a part.
it's a huge part
Yeah.
of it. Yeah. And then there was like a Disney remake.
Teen Beach Movie?
Yeah, Teen Beach Movie is a
Oh.
remake of
Beach-
Beach Blanket Bingo.
I was
That
gonna
makes sense.
that actually makes so much sense because I was like peeking over at the movie poster
Mhm.
Yeah.
and it has this exact same energy of Teen Beach Movie, which is kind of
Mhm.
like a rompy,
Mhm.
Yeah.
fun,
Yeah.
bright
It's
colors.
bright colors. Like when you're watching it, there is a certain level of like, this isn't really happening, right?
Yeah.
It's
yeah.
like it's like summer camp, but camp is in quotation marks. As in
Yeah.
like camp,
Yeah.
as in looking camp right in the eye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's a fun. I recommend it. It's fun. It's just kind of fun.
I haven't seen it, but now I want to. It looks like a romp.
Yeah, it is. There's a couple of them, and this is in some ways a shameless plug, but my great aunt was one of the like bookend ladies in all of these movies. So she's not like a named character with lines, but she's one of the little beach ladies in all the scenes.
Oh my gosh. That's so cute. I haven't seen American Graffiti, but boy, did it show up on a lot of lists that I read.
I don't know if I've ever heard of American Graffiti until today.
Yeah, so it's a 1973, again, retrospective film.
Mhm.
It is taking place in the summer of 1962, and it's got kind of the classic coming of age film themes. It's directed by George Lucas and
I did not realize
No,
it was George Lucas.
And
Yeah.
Francis Ford Coppola. Like both
yeah.
of those big names, I'm like, that's interesting.
Yeah, Coppola produced it and Lucas directed it. Those are huge names.
Mhm.
The basic setup of the movie is that on their final evening of summer vacation, it's that last savoring bit of summer
Mhm.
before heading to college. A group of friends
Mhm.
spend a wild night cruising around their small Northern California town,
Mm-hmm.
getting into trouble and chasing a mystery blonde in a Ford Thunderbird.
That sounds like a good old time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I need to watch this film.
I
Yeah.
definitely want to see that. I've heard of American Graffiti. I did not realize that's what it was about.
Yeah, and maybe that's exactly the thought, because like that sounds familiar, but with all of the rest of the information, I'm like, I have no idea what that is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think that's a good film to kind of like back to how we were saying that summer books, media, whatever, don't necessarily have to be summer.
Mm-hmm.
And some that are summer aren't necessarily that same vibe. I think that there's a category of ones that happen like the end of school year right before summer,
Mm-hmm.
or like this one is the last little bit of summer, like the last hurrah right before the school year. And then you have some that like start in the summer, go into the school year, but still have that feeling of
Yeah.
summer.
So
Right.
one that comes to mind for that is like the High School Musical series, but like
Mhm.
obviously the first one starts from winter break.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the second one is like right at the end of the school year, going into summer. It's all about, but it's like
Mhm.
they're building the anticipation on the last day. They're so
Mm.
excited. There's a whole musical interlude dance party as they leave the school. And then it's the beautiful summer vacation on the club, at the country club.
Yeah. Few things as iconic as High School Musical 2.
Very few.
Summer vacation. I don't know if this one evokes those same summer feelings that we're talking about, but it's definitely hailed as one of those first summer blockbusters. Jaws comes out in 1975.
I think for a different generation, it does a lot more.
I was gonna say, I think if you're of that era,
yeah.
it probably does feel a little bit more summery. I wouldn't have that on my list,
No.
but I was born essentially 20 years later.
Yeah, but then again, there are ones on here that are older that I like, and just other ones like in the that aren't on our list that are older that I do feel like.
But they're more. A lot of the other ones are more like summer.
Yes.
Versus takes place in summer.
Yeah.
And so I feel like the ones that just take place in summer, sometimes you have to have been there.
Yeah.
Is Jaws a boat movie, or is Jaws just a movie about a boat?
Well, it's not our boat movie.
As a child of National Lampoon and the Griswold movies, the next one does have a summer feeling to me. National Lampoon European Vacation, 1985. This is the Griswolds on a vacation tour across Europe where their usual havoc ensues. Takes place during a summer vacation. Travel occurs. There's the kids. There's the family.
The American in Europe, just of it all.
Right. And there's a specific kind of trope in some summer movies of like a disastrous trip. Like that's a very specific kind of
I don't know this factually and I could just Google it, but is the Are We There Yet? That's got to be a summer summer series
for sure, because aren't they like driving an RV or something?
I think at least one of them they're driving an RV, but like that feels just such like I've been in so many cars for way too long when it's been hot as hell with annoying ass siblings.
It's like a trip that starts out as a good idea and then 12 hours later you're like,
I'm gonna kill everybody and myself. You know, a lot of summer is wanting to kill your family, and you know, it's a great.
You're like packing up the car, and like your parent asked you like 20 times, like, "Is all your stuff out here? Is all your stuff out here?"
You packed your swimsuit, right?
And then all of a sudden, you come out with your pillow, and you're like, "I forgot this," and they're like, "The car's already been organized." Was that just me?
Oh no!
Again, what summer road trip? What summer?
Yeah,
we've already said her, known her, loved her.
My love.
But Dirty Dancing.
Yeah, Dirty Dancing that was a very formative experience on a lot of different fronts for Kaylin. As we know, Jennifer Grey, Patrick Swayze, a beautiful couple.
Pre-nose job.
Yeah, I was literally gonna say. But is there really Jennifer Grey post nose job? Not really.
It's a different person.
But if you don't know, if you haven't been exposed to this beautiful film, our main character, Baby, played by Jennifer Grey, is one listless summer away from the Peace Corps. And she's hoping to enjoy her youth while it lasts. And she's disappointed when her summer plans deposit her in a sleepy resort in the Catskills with her parents. Something I want to point out about that movie is that the plot functions around an abortion, and the writer of the movie did that very specifically because she wrote something like a play before that, and it had some sort of women's rights thing that was like removed from the play because it wasn't integral to the plot. And she's like, no, fuck you, this time this movie doesn't happen without the abortion and the talk around abortion. So
love her for that.
Yeah, and also just a great movie all around.
Another one that I haven't seen, but that again like really was getting hailed on a lot of lists as a great summer film, and again is one of those that like falls on the cusp. This time the cusp of the beginning of summer is Dazed and Confused.
All right.
From 1993. The kids of Lee High School are deliriously happy to be done with school, and they drive around and they throw a party and they spend the evening philosophizing about the fundamental cruelty of being young. That sounds so summer coded.
Yeah. I watched that once in a college course, but I don't remember that much from it, if I'm being honest. But I do remember enjoying it. Like, it was fun. I feel like one that has to be a core memory for, I would guess, all of our listeners, is The Parent Trap, 1998.
Which is a remake.
It is a remake. The original Parent Trap is 1961. I have not watched that one, but the one I'm sure we're most familiar with is the 1999 version with Lindsay Lohan playing both of the twins. Was a little confused for a while if the Mary-Kate and Ashley of it all, if she did have a twin or not, but you know.
Well, I do think that Parent Trap is interesting because I didn't immediately think about it. And then I was like, well, but they meet at summer camp.
Yeah.
Like summer camp is the vehicle. And then I think that they come back from summer camp, and that's when they're like a lot of their plotting and scheming to get their parents back together happens. So it's another one of those where like summer might only be a part of it, but It
Well, it ends
feels
with
like
summer too,
I
because
mean, it
that's
is.
they're on the. Well, I don't know if it's a summer camping trip, I guess, but they're on a camping trip with the
That's
mother or the
right.
father and the girlfriend.
That's not how it ends.
That's
Well, towards the end, there's another camping trip. So I don't like. Does it is the summer camp at the end of summer?
I think it just takes place during summer.
during a
Okay.
summer.
But the summer camp is only part of summer.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Because whatever. It takes place during summer.
Yeah.
And I feel like it is very much
For sure.
a summer movie. Like I feel like at least for me, that
Yeah.
is one of the ones where it's like I get that nostalgia for something I never even had.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
never even experienced.
And is it like the hijinks of that movie? Is that what makes it? I mean, like obviously it takes place in the summer, but like, is it also the
Well,
like?
I think it's kind of like there's hijinks, but it's almost like girlhood
Yeah,
and like there is kind of a I don't even know if I would say like coming of age, but there is kind of like the hijinks and the girlhood and the fun and the whatever while dealing with a very big, potentially heavy topic.
yeah. Well, and it's the whole thing is like bringing the nostalgia back to the parents of their younger love too, right? And I feel like that is also like a summer coat, like just the nostalgia of it all as a summer.
I think that summer, that feeling of summer is one of such possibility. Like there's so much that is possible once it becomes summer because of the freedom, because of the time. Like
Yeah.
there's just something in the air where you could get your parents back together.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
You could start a whole new life as a happy family.
Yeah.
All of that opportunity, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're young enough to not like understand reality, but also you have that boost of like that summer.
Like
What
it's
word
like
am I thinking of? Delusion.
yeah.
Summer delusion.
Or like vigor. Like you ain't got nothing else going on. Like might as well try to get the parents back together. Like
I mean, I think that like the youthful idealism
mhm.
makes you feel very empowered during
Yeah.
summer,
Yeah.
even if it's delulu.
Next, we have Wet Hot American Summer 2001, which is also set in retrospect, set in 1981. And it's the last day of camp. So, I mean, theoretically, the last day of like the biggest part of summer for these folks, but it follows the camp counselors who are trying to complete the all sorts of unfinished business, let's just say, by the end of the day. And it is like a more satirical take. It is not as much of like a child's movie as some of these other ones are. A little bit more gritty and vulgar than some. But like that also had a remake relatively recently. I want to say like 2017, but just nostalgia on nostalgia for a nostalgic time and place. Another one I think that we're all probably pretty familiar with as girls who grew up in the 2000s is Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants, which, you know, like pretty star-studded cast there for what they go on to do with Blake Lively, America Ferrera, and Alexis. Is it Bledel?
Blake
Alexis?
Lively, America Ferrera, Alexis Bledel, and Amber Tamblyn. If I could only pick one summer media, I feel like it would have to be Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants.
Yeah.
It's quintessential.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Costas was the love of my life for a while. Until the second movie. Then I was over that because
you know what one that is around the same time period that is I definitely was a summer movie for us was Princess Diaries 2. Not 1, 2. And that might be because we only owned number 2, but I think that that one is more summer vibes. It's got the sleepover, it's got the romance, like
it does actually take place in more. It's summer.
I was thinking that it did as well in Moldova or whatever.
Genovia.
Genovia. You
The way
know.
Larsen and I were both like, how dare you?
It's been a long time, okay?
Moldova.
You know, like the chocolates.
What?
I'm just throwing things out there at this point.
Okay.
Words. This one, again, it doesn't conjure up an immediate summer feeling for me, but its descriptor certainly fits. Adventureland, which is a 2009 movie starring Jesse Eisenberg and Kristen Stewart.
Stewart? I was like, how are you saying that?
Hey, we all get one. We all get one. In the summer of 1987, so again, looking back, a college graduate takes a nowhere job at his local amusement park, only to find it's the perfect place for him to get a taste of the real world.
I don't think I've ever watched Adventureland.
I remember it as
yeah.
being fun.
Yeah.
The last song.
Yes, the last song, which I feel like I mix up with a couple of different movies that were similar vibes that came out around the same time. But the last song, 2010, Miley Cyrus, Liam Hemsworth, the beginning of a fraught love story. But you know, the rebellious girl is sent to a southern beach town for the summer stay with her father. Through their mutual love of music, the estranged duo learn to reconnect, and she also falls in love with Liam Hemsworth. But I feel like the story of being sent away for the summer against your will is also a very summer movie experience.
Yeah, and reconnecting with someone that you've had a bad relationship with or whatever. That's a big part too. And that's why I think like eventually we'll talk about themes, but there are different categories that these movies or books fall into where they still are summer.
Yeah.
But you can't even compare some of them. They're like just totally different. Some of them are much more heavy. Some of them are really lighthearted. Like you're not comparing the last song with Dazed and Confused. Like it's but they're still
Yeah.
summer. Another one that I certainly would not compare with the last song is The To-Do List. Have you guys seen that movie?
No.
Mm-mm.
Ooh, okay. That's going to be on our watch list, but it has Aubrey Plaza in it.
Okay.
Ooh.
It's about this high school valedictorian who before college wants to kind of like lighten up, and she creates a list of sexual activities that she wants to complete before she goes to college.
I think I have seen
Yeah, now that you're
this.
saying this, maybe I've at least seen parts of it or something.
Yeah, but it's been a minute.
At a summer sleepover, probably.
It's so good. Aubrey Plaza, Bill Hader, Rachel Bilson, Andy Samberg,
Yeah.
Aaliyah Shawkat, Donald Glover. Like it's Connie Britton.
Yeah.
I think it's such a good movie. And I think it really was, it came out in 2013.
Yeah.
Which was when we were in high school. Like I feel like it was such a perfect high school summer movie.
Yeah. Another one that popped into my head because of the Nicholas Sparks of it all is The Notebook.
Oh yeah.
Because that is like, at least the beginning of their love story is during the summertime when her family is on vacation at their summer home. And that's 2004. But, you know, quintessential love story, lots of passion, small town boy, big town girl. Her daddy's got bigger plans for her than this man. Very, very summer.
I think I've only seen that movie once.
What?
Yeah, it was on a long trip for a basketball trip.
So not the summer.
Not in the summer, in the dead of winter in Alaska. We were staying the night at a high school in Kotzebue, and I had a 100 and something fever. Didn't know it at the time, and we're all the boys and girls basketball team was watching
The Notebook.
The Notebook.
You know, that's not giving summer, but it's kind of giving summer. That's funny.
Yeah. But what really is giving summer? Like we keep saying like there's a
Yeah.
vibe, there's a theme, there's a whatever.
Yeah.
What do we even mean by
You know,
that?
on theme with the America, the 4th of July of it all. Freedom, baby.
Yeah.
So many different types of freedom.
Yeah, and I was going to say I feel like when non-Americans hear Americans say freedom, they're like, "Oh yeah, our guns, our whatever." That's not
That's
what
an
we mean.
eagle, by the way.
A lot of times freedom is like for children, it's the freedom to like run around. Your parents
Yeah.
aren't watching you. You don't have school, you don't have homework, you don't have
Yeah.
somebody like monitoring your every movement.
Yeah, the freedom from.
And freedom too.
Yeah.
Both,
Yeah.
all the kinds of freedom. I don't know. It's that feeling of barreling down the highway and the window is down and you stick your arm out and you feel the air go up and down and
Yeah.
over
It's
your
that
hand.
scene in the movie version of Perks of Being a Wallflower.
Yes,
We are
where
infinite.
where we
Yeah.
are infinite. Emma Watson up over the car, arms outstretched.
Like an angel through the sunroof.
Yeah.
That's a Chaperone lyric.
I was like, yeah, exactly. No, but it's like, it's that freedom from surveillance, definitely. Like
Yeah.
the idea of like your parents being like, just go play outside.
Yeah. But also that freedom of thinking that like anything can happen.
Yeah.
There's not restrictions on like your brain of like, well, I can't do that or this
Yeah.
won't happen or whatever.
And like kind of what you're saying, like there's like a recklessness, I feel like, with that freedom.
Yeah.
And whether that's just like a simple thing, like jumping off of like the high dive or whatever, or like sneaking out and like doing something a little bit more reckless than that. Like there's so many different ways to experience all of these different summer theme vibes, personally or in a movie, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think a really important part of it when we talk about the theme of freedom is the lack of schedule of it all. Like during the school year, students, teachers, they're on a very strict routine and a strict schedule. You get told all year you can't have a sleepover because you have school the next day, right? Something like that. And it's monotonous. You know exactly what you need to do and when you need to do it and what days you have off. It's all so regimented. And then the second that summer vacation starts, that schedule is completely gone, which actually, if you think about the working world and like adulthood,
Yeah.
it doesn't happen like that. Like that's a
Yeah.
really rare that all of a sudden your entire schedule is wiped clean and you're just told, yep, you just get the time, right? So it's this switch to freedom, is this boundlessness. And if you couple that with things like travel and meeting new people, you get an experience that I think is really ripe for reinvention of the self because it just feels like anything's possible.
Yeah.
Yeah, which I think ties into our feeling right now of nostalgia. Like we don't get to experience that anymore.
Yeah.
So I feel like there's this deep yearning urge to feel that, to somehow replicate that. And we can only really get that through consuming media
Yeah.
because we have responsibilities now.
Yeah.
Oh,
Or like a
yeah.
lot of people, I think, get the opportunity with like living that with their children, but like
Yeah.
still you're not
But
the child. It's
not-
different.
It's still
like,
different because you have to do all the planning. You have to make
yes.
sure
Yeah.
that, you know,
make sure they like don't die. Like
yeah,
yeah.
it's very different unless you like purposely remove yourself from your life to go do something.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, and I think of all the movies that we talked about that are 10 years, 20 years, 15 years removed from their writing 10 or 15, 20 years later than
Right.
than their experience.
They're looking back.
Yeah, and so like a lot of these are inherently nostalgic, and the people that are making the films are so nostalgic about it. Like it's just like there's not a way that you can consume summer vacation or summer media without feeling some sort of nostalgia. Like even just like Dirty Dancing, Grease, those are set 20 years from when they were filmed, when the movie was made, right? Like
Yeah.
there's no way around it.
Yeah. Or like Sandlot, it's the
Yes.
adult version of him telling the story of when they were
Yes.
kids.
Yeah. I think that it's in part because summer is temporary. And you know, even as a child that it's so fleeting.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know it's a finite time.
The memory just gets like embossed like within ourselves like with such extra depth, and that heightens that like nostalgia when you become older.
Yeah.
Because it's so temporal, right?
Yeah.
It's just a moment.
Yeah. And I think that like it is just a moment, and I think that kind of fits with another theme we see often is just like transition, and I will tie in like coming of age.
Right.
Because those are moments that we experience, but sometimes they help us get from like moment A to moment B in our transition from middle school to high school to college to real life. Like we have these different points in time where we're experiencing these transitions. And I think that they often are so well told through the lens of summer.
Yeah, what's one of my guilty pleasures is that I do like summertime flavored country music. It just really gets me into it. And there's unfortunately a Kid Rock song where he's like,
It was 1989, my thoughts were short, my hair was long.
Yeah. Caught somewhere between a boy and man.
And she was 17, and she was far from in between.
We don't have to talk about
it
that
was
part.
summertime in northern Michigan.
Caught somewhere between a boy and man in the transition. In the coming of age.
Larsen's not impressed by our knowledge.
I'm caught in between the two of them singing Kid
Rock
Rock to me.
That's the only Kid Rock song I know, so we're safe. That's also the only Kid Rock song worth knowing.
Yeah, that's the only halfway good one. Anyways, but even though I have an ADHD brain that made a crazy connection just now, like the point that Larsen was making stands, that so often the moment that the summer media is trying to capture is these coming of age in betweens.
Yeah, that just made me think of Sleepover, the Sleepover movie.
Mhm.
Doesn't take place in summer. It ends right before summer, but it is a transition period. It is a coming
Such
of
a good
age.
movie.
Yeah, it's so good.
Now that you've brought up country music, I have all these 90s country songs running through my head that are all like summer coming of age, like the Garth Brooks. I think it's called That Summer. And he's like working a summer job, and there's a sexy lady who owns the farm, and she kind of teaches him how to be a man.
That one's that like, I
That's
had
not
a
as wholesome.
barbecue stain on my white t-shirt.
She was killing me in that
mini
mini
skirt.
Yeah.
Skipping rocks on the beach all summer long.
Yeah. I think it's Down by the Railroad Tracks, but
Oops.
but like shit, it's not Chattahoochee. It's another Alan Jackson song, but it's like Where I Drank My First Beer. Like there's all
Where I found Jesus.
Yeah,
It's
I
where I
was
wrecked my
gonna
first
leave
car.
that
I
one
tore
off.
it all to pieces. I'm sorry. There is like something in my brain that gets unlocked.
Yes.
I admitted it was a guilty.
You know what?
pleasure.
Another Alan Jackson, the one where he's teaching his daughter how to drive. That one's a beautiful summertime song about growth and transition.
I feel like those are just like the freedom, nostalgia, transition, coming of age. Those are typically the major themes, especially for ones that are set for childhood, teens, adults looking back on those moments. There's usually something can be tied to
Yeah.
those.
Absolutely. And there's different ways that those themes are portrayed. Like we talked about, there's a spectrum of summer movies, summer books, summer media. Not everything is falling into the same category, but oftentimes they're touching on at least one of those
Yeah.
big themes.
Yeah.
Sometimes using tropes that we've already mentioned throughout all of these works, like the memorable setting, the summer love, the disastrous road trip, the summer job. Just all those heat aesthetics that we've mentioned, melting ice cream, warm color tones.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, throughout this entire episode and the prep for this episode, this to me is not a summer book, but every single thing we've talked about, I was like, fuck, this fits. Lolita.
No, I saw Lolita on lists. I left it off.
Yeah, that doesn't feel like the vibe we actually.
When you're reading it, it does not feel like summer, but every single thing we've mentioned is in Lolita.
But it's also just fucked up.
It's fucked up for a reason.
Yeah.
He doesn't believe it.
Listen to our age gaps episode for more.
I think that the reason why when I saw like Lolita pop up on like summer media lists, why I did not feel called to that is because of one of the things that we have already talked about a lot, which is just the pure romanticization of summer. And even though
there's a road trip, there's summer camp, there's heat aesthetics, there's summer love,
and Humbert is obviously romanticizing
for sure
his own
recollections.
Yeah,
well, his summer love, initial one that sparks his whole love for Lolita, 30 years later, is a summer love affair.
Yeah, but I, as the audience, am so unwilling to participate in the romanticization that it does not strike the summer feeling for me.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
See, that's what we said. Not every summer thing is a summer thing.
You have to personally feel the summer in your body, in your bones, when you read or watch the piece.
Is that summer?
I did see a quote that I thought was really nice as I was reading about American summer. I will say there's something really nice about recording an episode about summer and thinking about summer and talking about these books as it is summer.
Yeah, at the beginning of summer.
Yeah, like we are currently at the beginning of summer. It was hot as fuck yesterday.
Yeah.
I'm there.
We almost died at concert in the park the other night. Like
we're about to I know that at least a couple of us are going to take summer trips or go travel, go to the camping at the beach, go on a big trip, big adventure. So it all feels right to me. And I saw this quote that I thought just kind of summed it up pretty well. For 2 weeks or a month every year, summer vacations offered families, children, and grown-ups alike a uniquely American kind of escape, a chance to reinvent yourself, to go barefoot, look up at the stars, read the books you always hoped to, and become the person, freer, easier, tanner, thinner, you were always meant to be.
Yeah.
I do feel like we've kind of touched on this a couple times, and with that quote, it does make me think like, a lot of times people are so obsessed with New Year's and starting these resolutions and becoming a new person. And then I've even heard people talk about, no, you should actually do that in spring
Yes.
because that's when like rebirth and whatever.
Yeah.
But I also feel like subconsciously we do this in the summer.
Yeah.
We whether that's like, oh, I can be the person I want to be in the summer.
Well, and also just like practically, you're wearing different clothes. Like you are like you do feel like a different person, even if you're not like thinking about it as much as the quote is saying. Like there is sort of a rebirth with that season. Like with spring and fall, you're so much wearing like transitional clothing, but like summer, it's a tank top and shorts, baby. You gotta pull out the
Old Navy flip-flops.
yes. Yeah. Oh my God, the amount of Old Navy flip-flops that we would buy. I don't know if they have the wall of Old Navy flip-flops like they used to in the good old days. Probably better for the environment though.
I also think though something that we can feel a little bit as adults, or maybe just because we are youngish and we are kind of craving that childhood freedom, is what you said, like that recklessness.
Yeah.
And like reckless on certain levels, but like the heat, the sun shining all the time, like it makes you want to go to do happy hour and with friends and concert in the park and do all this stuff.
Yeah.
We still try to find it.
Yeah.
Well, and like lake culture, river culture, like no, there's not a lot of other times of year where you're going to be able to like get your entire family out of the house after a work day and onto a body of water. Like that just doesn't happen outside of summer, or even like going to a baseball game or something.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, even in adulthood, I think, like we're saying, there's still ways that we try to grasp on to the feeling of just being out and putting yourself out there.
Yeah.
Even more. Like in the winter, in the fall, if it's after work, you're most of the time we hibernate in certain ways.
Yeah, or it's your regular scheduled programming. It's your nightly or nightly trivia, your weekly trivia. It's not so much of like we're gonna do this one fun thing that we don't like. That's so outside of the norm.
But one thing about summer that's so special is that whether you're a child or a working adult, you never want to waste summer. So if that means going out to go float the river early on a Saturday after having worked late the day before, we all try in our own ways to make summer special.
Absolutely.
If we missed, because we certainly did.
We for sure
did. Please tell us your favorite piece of summertime media that we did not include.
We'd love to know. And if your family had specific summer vacation spots that we didn't mention, please let us know. Maybe you'll give us some ideas. But I think that this time of year, everybody needs to go and read or watch a movie or book that captures the feeling of summer to them.
Yeah. And one thing that I'm doing is I like to have seasonal playlists. And I've really been grabbed by this like sense of kind of nostalgia. I think more for like college, a high school college era, not like full on childhood. But I'm creating a playlist that kind of feels like that. And just the feeling of driving in your car with the windows rolled down, playing music really, really loud. Like that to me also feels like summer. So if you're like that, let me know what songs feel like summer.
Maybe if you're really lucky, Larsen will share the link to her summer playlist on Insta.
Now that you said that and just kind of thinking about this episode, I distinctly remember like the last week of high school, like, and maybe a little bit before that because it was like senior ditch day, but driving out to the lake on senior ditch day, listening to Shut Up and Dance With Me, which was a very great windows down summer of that would have been 2015, like perfect moment. All right, guys. Thank you so much for listening.
We hope you'll keep reading the room with us.
So keep checking back for more episodes every Monday and Thursday that dive into the spaces where literature, media, and culture meet.
Please reach out to us at readtheroomacultureclub@gmail.com for feedback and topic suggestions.
Follow us on Instagram and TikTok at readtheroom_culture club for the most up-to-date podcast information.
If you enjoy our podcast, please leave us a 5-star review wherever you listen.
Also, we're on YouTube now. Find us on YouTube. Subscribe, listen,
you can
share,
listen on YouTube,
comment, all the things. And remember to take up space in whatever room you're in.
Especially if it's on a beach.
Yeah, on a tube, in a body of water. Any of those places. All right, bye guys.